forcing Ari to start my video because I hate starting videos.
I'm screaming internally. Hi! What up, y'all? I am Ari Fitz and I'm here with Ash. And today we are going to talk about androgyny versus non-binary identities.
So Ari, what are your pronouns and how would you describe your gender identity?
Well, first off, my pronouns are she, her, and daddy.
Let's go.
And my gender identity is I am a cisgender, androgynous, black woman that loves women.
You are a woman.
Yes.
What does that mean to you?
Oh, that's such a lovely question.
Darling, and have what you like.
I like my womanhood. I've always loved my womanhood. I hold very strongly to it. I love women and I love everything about me being a woman. And that's part of the reason why I say it so strongly, because I'm like, women are great. Women are awesome. But I also really, really, really care about my androgyny. And I think that my gender expression is so much of a part of my life. Every day I get dressed in the morning and I get to decide who I want to be.
Change my mind.
And I think that that freedom is so important to me. Those two things, a lot of people see it as conflicting, and I have yet to discover that. I'm like, where does that conflict? I'm a woman that likes to have a lot of fun getting dressed in the morning. I don't make decisions based on what department stores tell me. I'm just because there's a huge man sign standing over the clothes that I want to put on, that doesn't deter me from going into that section.
What does being androgynous mean to you?
Androgyny is just playing into the ambiguity of gender.
Does it go beyond gender expression?
Personally, I think it really does come down to fashion and presentation.
No hero.
When it gets deeper than that, it then moves into it actually almost strips the fun from me.
Oh.
I want my gender expression to be a form of expression. I want it to be fun. I want it to be light. I want it to be exciting. And I think when it starts to get deeper into real heavy identity things,
sure,
it just becomes a little more weighted. And I think that that's how I define it. Androgyny is just having a lot of fun with gender presentation and gender expression.
So we've defined womanhood for you.
Yeah.
We've defined androgyny for you. What do you think being non-binary means?
Let's jump in the fire.
When I hear the word non-binary, I really do think it's just not subscribing to the binary that exists. Not subscribing to the fact that all our lives we've been told that there are two types of people, and that is a man and a woman. So literally, it's just that. Non-binary is not subscribing to the binary that we've all been told, which is man-woman, and saying I am not in any of that.
That's killer. That was a super sick definition.
Was it?
Yeah.
Did I do okay?
But I have a question. So you
Yes.
said that non-binary is not subscribing to man or woman.
Yes.
Yeah, but androgyny is kind of the same thing too, isn't it? It's not subscribing to man or woman. So then what's the difference?
I think androgyny is more about presentation.
Pull me closer. Just got up and nightfall. Are you really changing me? I don't know where I'm going. Lock off a golden heart.
My womanhood is very I'm a woman. I'm not non-binary because I actually do feel I fall into the binary. I am a woman. On top of that, I play with gender expression. But non-binary people, that's their identity. Whereas I can very confidently say I am a woman. There are people who can actually very confidently say I am not a man, I am not a woman, I am non-binary. And they can dress however they want. I think it's not even about fashion at that point.
No, I won't have.
It's absolutely not about fashion, but so often people think it is about fashion. They think, okay, I get it. You don't want to wear men's clothes or women's clothes. Fine. You don't have to create a new gender.
Oh my god.
Why do you think there is this misconception?
Oh, that frustrates me so much because it then that's where it's almost saying what I'm doing doesn't even matter as well. It's combining all of these different very rich stories and throwing it into one pot and saying oh, we get it. You just want to wear the sweatpants. Just throw on the sweatpants and shut up. What? No, these are entire identities, entire lives. No. Why do I think people do that after my rant is over?
Yeah, why do you think they conflate gender expression and gender identity in such a way where they try to erase non-binary identities?
It's just a lack of awareness. At the end of the day, I feel people just don't know. What people do is they like use the language that they have access to explain some stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes I think it's like an uncomfortability with diversity in general. It's just we want to lump. We really like lumping things.
Yeah.
And we like when people are like us. Non-binary, oh, that's different from me. No, I think you're a woman, you just dress like this. And I'm comfortable with dressing like this because I've seen that around. So I can use those words to describe you. Also, it's hard to imagine what feeling non-binary feels like, what operating as a non-binary person in the world feels like when you've never experienced.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine the thing you've never experienced.
Just got up now, I'm falling over. Take my heart is starting, I don't need it at all when you touch.
There need to be more like non-binary stories within like media, within TV, where like literally this conversation's happening. Like I can see like, I don't know, on Stranger Things, like maybe there's like in the 3rd season, there's a character that like is non-binary and they're actually like explaining it.
Sure, like
That'd
they're
be really cool.
agender and then all their friends use they them pronouns and it's like super dope.
Right? That's what needs to happen, is we need that like within like media and entertainment.
I also really like low-key representation. So rather than having to put a spotlight on it every time,
Yeah.
being like, whoa, this is different. I need to learn it. Because more just like, oh, they're agender. Yeah, they them. No big. And then usually people get curious and they're like, I don't know what that is. Google.
Wear whatever you want, be whoever you want. You're allowed.
Okay, bye.